going on, man?
I just asked you.
Oh, I'm not in your house.
Who is going to dominate? Now, let me give you one hint. In the years prior to 1979 in Iran, the Islamists and the Marxists were operating together. What happened when they succeeded in their goal of destroying the Shah and his regime? The Islamists then destroyed the communists. So that is a one.
They say this is what their mission in life is, to go to these Western nations which they despise and completely change everything into Muslim. There's only one or two that are perfect. Drugged, they've been influenced, the propaganda got to them, existentials, and we've had some great ones, and New York has suffered or done well with either, so we'll see. That's a hard one to predict. You can look at Minneapolis and
Hold on, we're not going to address that now. Okay.
I'm just putting this out.
Okay.
Where shall we
As for the time being, okay, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put you in handcuffs, okay, because you're under arrest for domestic battery.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to jail. Let's go.
Okay.
The officers escort the man toward a police cruiser, while officer staff remains with the victim.
You do this often, or?
Yes, we just have BCFS here.
Building.
Okay.
Technician on duty. Where is
He's
trouble?
out of here for the night.
Though officer staff offers
My tools
calm
are yours.
reassurance, her
Repairman
harrowing
on the
night
move.
is far from over.
Oh,
How
are you
can I assist?
kidding me?
I will investigate.
Dude, she was fighting with
I
her
am but a
friend. That's what my car's
How can I
doing.
assist?
Go look
Where
at the
is
hood of my
trouble?
car.
Yuri
Dude, I'm done. Ever again. I'm so done with you, bro. Yeah, what? Again.
Is there
So,
trouble?
good luck. I'm
Where
going
is
to
trouble?
private
Can I
jail.
assist?
It looks
Smooth
like.
operation.
Well, I do love you
Where
still.
is
Just
trouble?
know that, no matter what.
I understand.
Enlighten me.
Training.
Dude, get me out of here. I'm sick of this life.
Shortly after his arrest, the victim and her mother were shocked to hear an unexpected knock at their door.
Me and my mom were like, oh my god, nervous again. Like, what's going on? Did he already get out or what? My mom had came to the door and it was the police officer and she was like, it's the cop again. Whenever I came back outside to him, he shut his cam off. Okay. That instantly popped the flag in my brain.
How can
so
I
then
assist?
he said,
Where is trouble?
you were very hot, and I was like, okay. He was like, I definitely got turned on by you getting out of the tub or whatever inside, and I was like, okay.
Technician on duty.
And he was like, well, I just kind of, I know it was weird I came back, but I just couldn't not come back and ask you if you would ever be interested in going on a date with me. And I said no.
According to the victim, he returned to her home at a later date, following a separate incident involving her and another girl who had gone for a second time. Her shirt had been torn open.
He said, I missed you. I said, okay, that's weird. Okay, and he was like, I missed you calling us. And I'm like, I don't. And then he was like, well, you should, he turned off his cam at that point. Somewhere around that point, he turned off his cam again, and then he said, gun barrels cooled and ready. Can you please show me your views? And I was like, no. And he was like, please do show me your views. I won't say nothing, nobody will know. Like, I just want to see them. And I was like, well, they're already halfway out. Like, my shirt's ripped. And that's unnecessary. So then I went back inside, and he's very creepy. And I'm most positive that I'm not the first one.
Let's clear the air. Let's take the gun for a spin. Let's clear the air.
So you can tell a good officer to an officer that tries to take advantage of their position and what they do.
She explains that at first she didn't report what happened, and she didn't know the officer's name at the time. However, she later confided in another officer, finally revealing the disturbing encounter.
What did he say about that? It was like he knew. Yeah. He knew what kind of an officer he was.
Did he pull up a picture of him?
Mm-hmm.
Or like on Facebook or
of
something?
Him and his girlfriend. He's like, why didn't you do anything about it? I was like, I mean, I just felt like it's an officer who's going to believe my word. You know what I mean? I just felt like who would believe my word over somebody who is authority.
Other victims would soon come forward with similar fears, as even more egregious incidents surfaced. Investigators learned that just 1 month earlier, on March 27, 2020, officers' staff responded to yet another domestic violence call, entering a trailer to find an injured woman in tears.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
I woke up, he was drinking. I went to the bathroom. And I came out. And I came back to bed and he punched me in my mouth. I don't know.
Select target. Construction complete.
Disk in flight.
I've been recording.
Building.
On all of my shit.
Construction complete. Building.
What's going on, man?
I just asked you.
Disk in flight.
Whoa, I'm not in your house.
You in an argument or something?
Dude, I have not argued with her. I have not seen her since like midnight. I went to sleep around 2 o'clock in the morning. I got done playing my online game.
I'm gonna go talk to her.
Ready.
I got this side.
Yuri'S collection.
How about for right now? I just need to talk to her.
No arms. I've been drinking, but I've been sleeping. What's going on right now?
If you were in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm by myself. Stay with it.
Encountering and ready, comrade. I'm not accepting notice.
When backup arrived, officer staff returned to the bedroom and instructed the male to put on clothes and shoes.
What am I being charged with?
Yuri'S collection agency. Levitation unit.
No, that means
Figure out my charge.
get some shoes on.
Right.
There's no reason I should have shoes on. I should be going to sleep.
Okay. I'll say this to you again. You're either gonna put some shoes on, or this isn't gonna be the way you want to end it. I'll promise you. Okay.
Similar to the previous incident, officer staff placed the suspect under arrest and removed
Yes,
him from the home.
Wow, this is crazy, guys. I've done many of this.
I know. We hear what you're saying. Okay. I don't want you to think that we're not listening.
Yeah, no, you're not listening to me because you go throw me in the cell and I never see either of you guys again and I get charged in court. What is going on? I've been sleeping.
And you know, I've been out here a few times, okay? You even said every time we're out here, everything's smooth, okay? I've always treated you with respect. I've always answered your
Can I
questions.
just leave and not ever come back?
Maybe if you want to do that after whatever the judge decides to do, but
let's go to jail.
Spinning away.
According to the victim, it was shortly after the man had been taken to jail when officer staff returned to the trailer. He walked inside uninvited and entered her bedroom. With his body camera switched off, he put his hand on her shirt and squeezed her breast. She pushed him away, and a short time later, he left the home. But the intrusion didn't end there. Soon after, he began texting her, asking for nude photographs. She never reported the incidents, convinced no one would believe her. As the investigation continued, they uncovered more incidents where staff had texted women after obtaining their phone numbers while on duty and in uniform.
How did you leave collection?
I was in the parking lot at noon, Shurayu. Just got done inside and they were closed already. Officer staff walked up to the car and asked them, had any problems? Well, made a joke. Some kind of drug deal going on.
According to her statement, officer staff claimed he recognized her as a witness to a recent burglary.
Yuri'S collection
He asked for her phone number
Yuri'S
and
collection
soon began texting her.
What did he text you about? It's kind of flirty stuff. It wasn't anything super inappropriate. Asked
accepting donation.
things of that nature.
Did he ever ask to meet up with you?
Yeah, that's intimidating sometimes. And I wasn't trying to be like, not town guy. Yeah, sure, I'll try to sit by there.
Yuri'S collection.
Did he ever do or say anything else? Or anything weird or anything like when you guys were texting or that night that he met you?
I thought all of it was weird. I mean, his officers don't usually ask you to
Yeah. What did you think about that?
I thought it was just, like I said, it was something that I didn't expect to happen. And like I said, I wasn't in a position I didn't think to say no.
With each new account, the investigation revealed circumstances that grew even more heinous. In April of 2020, officer staff responded to a domestic dispute between a male and female. In this instance, both were arrested at the scene, but according to one officer, the female wasn't processed at the jail.
Do you know why she didn't get booked? I think my report, they said like her eye was too bloodshot, so they weren't going to take her.
So the jail said they didn't want to take her. Okay. What happened with her as far as like her charges?
She was issued a notice to appear for domestic violence.
What happened to her after that you know of?
I was getting off my shift, so I believe officer staff gave her right.
Were they talking to each other or anything like throughout this incident?
All I remember, she was really hot-headed. I don't know what she was saying. I mean, she was saying a lot of stuff, but I really don't recall what she was saying. So she was very hot-headed.
Do you know, did you make any comments or anything, or did she make any comments before they left?
She was saying a lot of stuff. I think she was saying something sexual. I don't know if that was directed towards me or him. I really don't.
Yes.
In an interview with the female, investigators learned that after driving her home, officer staff walked her back to her bedroom. He then turned off and removed his body camera and began taking off his clothes. According to her statement, he told her he got her out of jail and she felt pressure to give in to his sexual demands. Eerily, she recalls him smiling as though it were a joke, describing him as a child laughing. He warned her not to tell anyone, saying that he would know if she did. Then he took her ID and left. And speaking with another officer, investigators learn of another incident that occurred as far back as January of 2020, when officer staff and his colleagues arrested multiple intoxicated women who were trespassing at a facility reporting.
Guns ready for full auto. Faster and faster. Gun barrels cooled and ready. Faster and faster.
He got Shannon.
Where's the boy at?
He's up in like the 5th floor. No, he's not lost. He's not coming. He's trying to find our phone.
We get real dirty out here.
Yeah,
my shit's over here.
Josh, look at her head. Feel my head. Can you feel her head? Please, right here.
Well, here's the thing. That's not the important thing right there. Is getting out of here.
Okay.
Seriously. Okay.
Titan spoil report. In the field. In the field. Piece by piece.
Here. Are you...
No. I am.
I see you have no shoes on.
Yeah, just took my shoes and everything.
Okay.
One of the two women, who were romantic partners, appeared to have a bloody nose sustained from an altercation with her sister while they were inside the factory.
I love them shotgun.
I know. We have officers out with her, so don't think that she just got away. Okay? The bad news is we have to make a little bit of a walk. We have to literally walk around the building. So one
Come
person.
on. I'll carry you. I got two, dude. I'll carry you. Come on. I'll carry you. Come on.
My slaves are ready.
You want me to carry you?
Let's transfer some assets.
Each officer took hold of their suspect and began a long walk back to a waiting ambulance. Along the way, the woman with officer staff asked a personal question. While escorting the intoxicated women through one section of the plant, disaster struck.
I have no shoes. I'm poor. You think I'm kidding?
Seriously, stop.
Oh, he stepped on a nail.
Enemy lost.
Despite the horrific setback, she managed to keep moving and walked ahead with another officer. The other woman, who had earlier asked Officer Staff if he was married, walked with him as the two fell behind the group. Moments later, the woman's breast became exposed to the camera.
We got real dirty out here. Slaves are cheap.
According to investigative notes, Officer Staff then extends his right hand in the woman's direction. But what he does is not fully captured.
Accepting donations.
The body camera is then turned off for 6 minutes.
So the only thing that shows on these cameras is a little red dot that shows when your camera's recording.
Yeah.
And I do not recall it being on when we got to the ambulance.
In footage from the incident, 2 of the female suspects arrived at the ambulance, while the one who was with Officer Staff was taken to a police cruiser. After she learned she was about to be arrested, she made an accusation against Officer Staff, but the other officers didn't seem to believe her.
So not only
Okay, we're gonna fight right now because you know what you're Stop. There's gonna be an issue because you were just
Here's the deal. There's not going to be...
No, I will get a lawyer. I will get a lawyer.
Stop pulling away, okay? He wants to tell when...
No, you were not. You were not there when he was...
Spinning away.
Are you kidding me? You're just killing all over me.
Levitation units online.
Really? You still and everything. This is he really did. I'm not even kidding.
One officer later recalled the victim saying something else to Officer Staff.
Religion of peace. I said, I'm not going to say anything of the sort. I've got 6 armed guards. I'm not going to say Islam is a religion of peace.
Okay, repeat that for a second. You had 6 armed guards. Why is that? Who was trying to kill you?
Well, the people who were trying to kill me was the protected minority of Muslims, many of them who were radicalized by the local Muslim Brotherhood in the Netherlands. And the local Muslim Brotherhood had control of the larger Muslim communities. And at that point, we knew that not all Muslims in the Netherlands were loyal to them. But it was like the mafia. If you're a Muslim living in the Netherlands in one of these large cities, if they told you vote this way, you vote that way. And so the woman who was sort of sent in there, colored immigrant, whatever, she was saying, I can't win the votes if Ayan is making these statements about Islam and the position of women and homosexuals and Christians and Jews and all of these things. So in order for me to win the vote or to even be competitive, I have to at least accommodate them in some of these policies. Now,
So Ayan, tell us, what is Islamism and how does it differ from their well over 1 billion practicing Muslims worldwide? Not every Muslim is an Islamist. What's the difference between the two?
Political Islam, I would say, is in some ways different from general Islam. I know some of my fellow researchers are just going to be really upset with me when I make this distinction. But in practice, when I look at countries like the United Arab Emirates and the leaders of the United Arab Emirates, what they're trying to say is, look, there is Islam as a civilization. We're trying to cope and modernize and this is our national identity, this is our religious identity. But on the other hand is political Islam, which is what is promoted by the Muslim Brotherhood. And political Islam is a modern movement that was born out of the fall of the Islamic Empire in 1924 when the Ottoman Caliphate fell apart. They developed this ideology, collectivist, totalitarian, which is in pursuit of establishing Islamic dominance over what used to be the Islamic heartlands and then spread out throughout the rest of the world. So we're looking at an Islamist political ideology versus Islam civilization. Islam has a lot of problems, and I'm the first one to admit that. I think as Americans today, our focus should be on political Islam, because it's easier to diagnose, it's easier to define, we know what the objectives are, we know who leads them, and we know we know also that they have formed an alliance with radical communists. They operate as a subversive effort, which I call dawah. And then there is, of course, we're familiar with the terrorist or jihadi aspect of it. So complicated, yes, conceptually, but in practice, easy to define, easy to understand, and in my view, easy to combat. Countries to listen to today are the heartlands of Islam, the rulers of the United Arab Emirates, and maybe even Saudi Arabia, because in 2010, 2011, 2012, I think these countries were before that they were supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, they had welcomed them, they had given access to their institutions of socialization, and then they discovered that the ideology that the Muslim Brotherhood was committed to was one that wanted to overthrow them. And from that moment, they were able to do that U-turn, where they kicked out, they banned the Muslim Brotherhood, understanding them, number one, to be a subversive effort, and terrorism and jihadism is sort of a tool to help the subversive effort. So this Muslim Brotherhood is banned in the UAE, they're banned in Egypt, in all of these countries. And I think we should be doing the same thing. But the danger for us in Europe and in the United States is the Muslim Brotherhood comes in legitimately saying, hey, all we're doing is observing religion. We are taking advantage of our freedom of association, freedom of speech, freedom of. And they're using these issues to subvert our own societies. And I think that is the trick for us. You as a senator in Congress, you are going to have to grapple with the question, how do I deal with a subversive effort like this one, seeking to destroy our system, while at the same time not violating those freedoms? And that's something that some of these Arab countries don't have to deal with, Singapore doesn't have to deal with. That's our I compare the Muslim Brotherhood. If you ask me, can you explain it to someone who doesn't know? I'll say, hey, if you live in Texas, have you ever been confronted with a termite infestation? When I was little and we lived in Mogadishu, we had termites, and they would eat up into some of these valuable wooden. My grandmother had this enormous cupboard that she had been moving from Aden in Yemen all the way here. And from one day to the next, the whole thing came. She moved it and it just fell. And she discovered in the bag were these teeny tiny termites that were acting as a colony. They were eating away at it. And that is the Muslim Brotherhood. It's a bottom-up operation. It's decentralized. It's globalized. One day they'll speak the language of peace and unity, and the next the language of jihad and war. And it's very, very difficult for us to look at this. But because they've been around since 1928, for those of us who really want to see the truth, we can see it. We know how they operate. We know who they are. We know that they go through universities, the media, the elites, through commerce. And so now that we have this big picture, we just need the courage and political will to say, you are not going to do to the United States what you did to Europe. You're not going to do to Europe what you did to Nigeria and to other parts of Africa, Tunisia, India, etc.
It seems to be really, really, I think, smart in a way where it's almost like they have times where they grow while dormant, while peaceful. And as I've studied them more than I honestly ever thought I would, because of what we've seen over the last 15 years, it's like they have these ups and downs where it's like, here's a time to build and be quiet and look like we're peaceful as we plan for the next big thing that we do. Is that part of the reason why they've been able to stay around and continue to grow around the world for so long?
Absolutely. Also because they operate on a different timeline. It's very important to bear that in mind. They know that in the United States, we operate, 2 years to the midterm, 4 years to the presidential election. So they think, these white Western Christians, they have 2-year and 4-year timelines. They have 100-year timeline, 200, 300. As long as Islam becomes dominant and they can impose Sharia, that is their faith. Number one. Number two, they form alliances with organizations and movements that are completely different from them. So, for instance, the communist, Marxist, again, infestation that is there to destroy us, they form alliances with them because they have that common goal of, as long as we bring down the structures of America, way down the road, we're going to figure out who is going to dominate. Now, let me give you one hint. In the years prior to 1979 in Iran, the Islamists and the Marxists were operating together. What happened when they succeeded in their goal of destroying the Shah and his regime? The Islamists then destroyed the communists. So that is a warning for the Marxists to say, I don't know who's going to destroy who. Yeah, it is tough.
So what do you make of the Red-Green Alliance? And that seems to be the energy and passion behind Zohrab Mamdani. What do you make of Mamdani? And as someone who has come from Somalia, who has seen this, how do you assess what's happening?
Well, the way I see it is, Mamdani is a reflection of both movements. So he is a watermelon, the son of a watermelon. And he comes in saying...
So explain watermelon to someone who hasn't heard
it. It's the Red-Green Alliance. If you've ever seen a watermelon, it's green on the outside, we say Islamist or political Islam on the outside, and red communist or Marxist on the inside. So they have a common objective, which is they hate capitalism. They hate our system of government. They have, each of them, there's the green utopia, which is the world is going to be dominated by Islam and we'll have Sharia law and everything will be well. And then, of course, you have the red, the Marxists, that they're going to destroy capitalism. And
So Ayan, what does it mean to live under Sharia law? Like, what would it mean for America if the Islamists succeeded as they're moving closer and closer to doing Europe? What would that mean?
It would mean a great deal of violence, chaos. Women will be the subjects of men. I mean, they'll have absolutely no rights. Non-Muslims will be subjected to the jizya. How do I explain that? It's a lower status for non-Muslims if you're only people of the book. Because if you're Jewish, you're going to be subjected to what Jewish people are subjected to on October 7. You see this.
So you're talking about violence and rape and murder.
Violence, rape, murder. I'm talking about floggings, public floggings. I'm talking about public stonings. Some of the horrors that you see in Nigeria, you see in parts of Indonesia, you saw in Afghanistan, you still see it. You remember how the Taliban had promised a few years ago to the Biden administration, we're going to give women their rights, but they have denied women the rights to go to school. They've denied women the rights to do anything. Basically, you become sun factories. Is what I was told when I was forced into marriage. The man I was about to be married off, he said, "You're going to have 6 sons for me, or else." This is well known. I mean, it is going to be. It's going to be the worst human existence you can ever imagine. It's a death.
Okay. So Jan, let me ask you why? Because on the left, many leftists also consider themselves feminists, and by the way, other leftists consider themselves LGBT activists. Is Islamism consistent with any feminist notion or any notion of LGBT rights?
Absolutely not. Look, in the countries where Sharia law is actually applied, homosexuals, the LGBT community, they're taken to the tallest structures, tallest buildings, towers, whatever, and they're thrown off from there. That is the law. The law is to execute homosexuals. Women are to be covered and not to be seen. They're completely submissive. So that is Sharia law as it is applied anywhere in reality. But there is this political expediency where people who are on the far left, the Antifas of this world, the Mamdani, or one wing of the Mamdani followers, they think We are the ones. Once we get, once we destroy America, once we destroy the existing structures, they think that they're going to dominate. That's just not how it works. But hey, why spoil their party? If Ocasio-Cortez thinks that she and Mamdani have something in common, why spoil the party? I think the rest of us are going to say, no, we don't want any of these collectivist, subversive efforts, and ask the question, how is it possible that the capitalist city, the finance city of the world, Manhattan, is about to elect this?
Let's keep the ore moving.
People.
Let's clear the air.
And what's your take on that? Are you surprised by the rise of Mamdani? What is, given your life experience, is this surprising to you or not?
It's not surprising because in the last 30, 40 years, I think what we have seen is this display of extreme lethal carelessness on the part of American elites, where we have come to think of ourselves as invincible. We just think if we have enough materialism, that everybody is going to be attracted to who we are and what we do, and we don't have to worry about these collectivist ideologies. We killed Christianity, we killed spirituality, we turned our backs on our foundational principles, and we're paying the price. And we're paying the price because our institutions of education, from K to 12, universities, we've allowed these people to take over and to preach. And when I look at a stadium full of people in New York that are cheering on Ocasio-Cortez and Mamdani, I think we are paying the price of this strategy. I want to say, having lived through and touched the bottom of the promised utopia of Sharia law, the promised utopia of communism, and knowing there is nothing there but death, like poverty. There is nothing there but oppression and suppression. There's nothing there but misery. I'm in a place where now I have come to see that the only way we fight those ideologies is by getting to the bottom of what are then the solid foundations of Western civilization. That is biblical. It's Judeo-Christian. It is the Sermon on the Mount. I mean, there is no denying it. It is the principles on which America is founded on. And right now, America has been served well. But over time, I think if you have two competing ideas, it's the idea of communism, it's the idea of Islamism, and then it's the idea of America. And I want the idea of America to win, and I want to dedicate my life to it.
Let me ask you, we were talking about the Muslim Brotherhood. For our listeners, tell them, what is the Muslim Brotherhood? As you know, I have legislation I've introduced in multiple times to designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. And in the first Trump administration, I came close to succeeding. I didn't quite convince the president in the first term to designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. I believe I will succeed this second term. I think we're going to get it designated. But tell us, give us a little bit of history and context of what the Brotherhood is, and your judgment on whether it is in fact a terrorist organization and should be designated as such.
I think the challenge for you, Senator Cruz, is going to be that you are going to have to understand the two concepts as you legislate, and it's going to be difficult, but I think you can do it. One part of it is the terrorist aspect of it, which is the application of jihad or violence. The other aspect, the other side of the Muslim Brotherhood, is the subversive effort.
Setting new course.
We have had. We are an open society.
How can I help? Whatever you say.
We debate what an open society means or doesn't mean.
Changing position.
But it's easy to access open societies if you are a subversive.
Moving. Vehicle reporting.
If you apply the subversive method. And so, for you, on a legislative basis, you will have to not only address the terrorist aspect, which carries the violence, but also the da'wah, the subversive part of it. The Muslim Brotherhood was founded in 1928 by a teacher, Hassan al-Banna, in Egypt. And what he understood was that he had to deal with
Waiting order.
With the fragmentation of Islam as he understood it. Islam was no longer an empire. Islam now was subjugated to the European powers that had developed nation states. In the nation state of Egypt, he understood that if he ever wanted to get state power, he would have to work very slowly and bottom up, start with the individual, the family, society. He preached about forming charities. And then over time, and time for them seems a completely different concept of what we have, having swayed it as many people as possible, taking on the levels of the state. That is the method that they apply. They've honed it. This is a method that's now become improved over time. In Arab countries, it no longer works because Arab dominating governments have come to understand that this thing has come for them. So now they work in Europe and in they set up mosques and schools, Islamic centers. They'll apply a whole neighborhood, and over time they want to grow. And like do you remember the litmus paper? When you drop.
Sure.
And just the way it spreads, that is the way they want to take over societies, and they have succeeded. I mean, look at Dearborn, Michigan. For us in the United States of America, when you go to the UK, France, Sweden, these are societies that are being taken over as they watch it, and they stand there and they all say, there's nothing we can do because the Constitution. So the local constitutions, national constitutions, have become documents that the Muslim Brotherhood can wave to say, you can't stop us because everything we do is legal. Everything we do is peaceful or non-violent. They'll apply the violence when they need it. But really, they don't need to apply the violence because with demographics...
So explain to an American who has not seen it. You just talked about how European countries were taken over by the Brotherhood and Islamists. Make that real. Explain what that means and what exactly has happened, because I think that is a powerful warning of what could happen here as well.
When I was a member of Parliament in 2006, and I was brought in to be the voice of modernity and Westernism. Here's a woman from Somalia, whatever, and look at her. She has assimilated, blah, blah, blah. So they brought me in. But then in 2006, we had local elections. The local elections, the Netherlands is a very small country, and there are 4 large cities: The Hague, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Utrecht. If my party, the VVD, which was the centre-right party, wanted to win any of these urban cities, I had to be told to go there and say Islam is a religion of peace. I said, I'm not going to say anything of the sort. I've got 6 armed guards. I'm not going to say Islam is a religion of peace.
Okay, repeat that for a second. You had 6 armed guards. Why is that? Who was trying to kill you?
How New York City will handle that. Because I can't imagine they won't push for that at some point. Oh, 5 in the morning. You're going to be hearing that one. Pop out of the Midtown Tunnel. Good luck. Apple juice. Holy. So, yeah, London has Mayor Khan.
Moving out.
Khan, you've screwed up London, but you keep missing the target, Khan. Khan, fire. Khan over there, Mayor Khan in London, he reacted to Mamdani being elected mayor of New York. And, you know, you could see what his being mayor did to London. It was already going in that direction, like New York, but he really put it in high gear. And, you know, if you look at London and see how many Muslims are in charge over there, and how much trouble you can get in for criticizing Islam in London, it's amazing. Amazing. And this is a preview of what I believe we'll get in New York City under a Zoran Memdani mayorship. So here's Mayor
I have the information.
Gone.
Checking designs.
Talking about Memdani.
Well, there are many parallels that New York and London have, and there are many parallels that Zoran and I have. I congratulate the city of New York. They've chosen in a bitterly contested election hope over fear, unity over division, and I'm already experiencing the ripples of hope and happiness coming from his victory.
Hope and happiness. They've chosen hope over despair and this over that. Really? Look at in London. London used to be a cool place, I think. I'd never been there, but the film seemed cool. But now, not so much. A lot of the places I used to want to visit, I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me to go there anymore. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
Together we're Compound Sensor.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it! It's uncensored and oh so entertaining. And London's one of them. London, France, my underpants. Yeah, it's I don't want to go there. It seems like it's wrecked. It's ruined. It's not what it used to be. So why would I want to go there and see a bunch of Muslims selling shit on the street like it's a bazaar?
Building Soviet economy. Equal share for everyone.
I don't know. I don't know. And New York, you know, he's happy about it. Khan's happy about it because it's just another Western city that is in the hands of a Muslim. That's what they want. They've said it. It's not even a secret. When you say it, people call you Islamophobic. They say this is what their mission in life is. To go to these Western nations which they despise and completely change everything into Muslim Sharia law, all that fucking bullshit. So good luck. Good luck. Maybe there'll be a tipping point where even some of the most unreasonable Americans will say, ooh, hey, I didn't see that coming. Maybe we shouldn't have done that, or you know,
ready, comrade.
We'll see.
Moving. Waiting orders.
This is a young woman. She's asked how they would change the Constitution. Now, this goes somewhere. I'm going to play a few clips of women talking about certain things politically, ideologically.
So if you guys could change the Constitution in one way, how would you change it?
Perverse gov major.
Georgetown University. I was literally going to say legalized abortion.
Maybe abortion laws, you know?
Rights to abortion, like transgender rights to have surgery without necessarily parental consent.
Yes, you have freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean you have a right to sit there and scream at someone because they choose to change their gender or they love the same sex, things like that.
So should we add trans rights to the Constitution?
Absolutely.
Definitely adding in like policies that like make healthcare more accessible for like immigrants as well as like people in low-income communities. I just think we need to get the old white fucks out of power, but that's not really a constitution issue.
None of what you talked about was a constitutional issue. I love that. The finish on that clip is great. Yeah, old white fox. Getting them out, but that wouldn't really be a constitutional issue. Yeah, like every other thing you said. Abortion, making it so you can't yell at people for wanting to be trans. I mean, that's already in the Constitution. It's called the First Amendment, and yeah, you can do that. You can yell at somebody. All the shit. It just they are retarded. It's really the only word that fits perfectly. Retarded. Their thinking process has been held back. It is retarded. So that was them. Here's some women celebrating, of course, the Mamdani victory. And let's watch these geniuses.
Sharia law starts now. Absolutely. Zahran Mamdani, Islamic Caliphate, our brother in Islam, Islamic Caliphate of New York, starts today, baby.
God, there is just something so electric, so satisfying about knowing that my MAGA parents, wherever they are probably having a horrible night tonight. Oh, I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like, they are in such a bad mood, probably, about the fact that Zoran just won and Prop 50 is gonna pass. Like, wow. God, I'm sorry, it just makes me feel good that my MAGA parents are probably upset right now.
When the day starts with Dick Cheney being dead and ends with Mamdani winning. Oh, yes.
Gun barrels
oh.
and ready. I was born for this.
I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Do you see? Do you see that there's no logic or reason in it? I'm so happy. They don't care about what it will actually do. They don't care about what Mamdani will do as the mayor of New York. They just wanted him to win the election. That one girl. I'm so happy my MAGA parents are going to be so mad. That's her takeaway. That's her emotional fucking damaged takeaway. Oh good, my parents will be mad. Have you ever done something as important, as supposedly important, as voting? Where you go to the poll and you look at the candidates and perhaps you've done a little research, you've watched debates, you have a certain ideology that you want the candidate you vote for to share, and then you go to the voting booth and you go, I'd like to vote for him, but who's gonna piss off my parents if they win? Because that's really who I want to vote for. What type of psycho, what type of broken fucking person thinks about that when they vote for somebody, when someone wins an election? Fuck the economy, fuck safety, fuck jobs, fuck... How can I make mommy and daddy mad? That's outlandish. But that's what we're dealing with. And then the girl at the end with the fucking 10 head. She's so giddy and happy that Dick Cheney's dead. Look, I'm far from a Dick Cheney fan. But, you know, celebrating the death of people, it's purely a lefty thing. Very low IQ. It's very primal and just good, dead. And then how happy Mamdani, and she can't even control herself. She's so over emotional because that's how they think. It's pure emotion with zero logic and reasoning. And what will this actually do instead of how will it make me feel? Will I be happy or sad? Will my parents be mad at what happened? And Those are your fucking women. Here's one. Here's women. Woman doesn't care how many illegals come here. And not only does she not care, she can't even fathom what the problem is. Yeah, this woman votes.
Need a repair?
Smarter than me, help me very genuinely understand why I'm supposed to care if people immigrate to the US illegally. Like, obviously some people are just racist and some people are just stupid. But even like left-leaning people say, you know, well, you got to do something about the border.
Scanning horizon.
Why? I don't understand why this should bother me in any way if as many people as want to come here. So if somebody can help me understand that, that would be great, because right now I just don't know why I should give a shit.
How about I bukkake on your glasses, on your big fucking glasses, to help you understand? I'm not even gonna answer her. Like normally, I guess you'd sit here, right? And you play that clip and then you go, well, I'll tell you why. Because we need strong borders and illegals are not vetted and they take the job and the cultural difference. You know this. That's not the important part of playing these women, talking about these various things. If she can't understand what is bad about just opening the borders to anyone and everyone. That looked like a nice house, the inside. Open the curtains. How would you like a family of 20 breaking chickens' necks out of their chicken coop and cooking them outside your window? Does that sound extreme? Not really, but if you think it sounds extreme, opening the borders like this woman wants, that might happen. You might get that. Any and every person that wants to come here, she can't see the problem. That's a problem. And we saw women 18, from voting age 18 up to I think 28, 29. 85% voted for Mamdani. And if you look back at the women vote for Obama, same fucking thing. Any of these candidates that have done just horrific things to the country, to their states, their cities, women vote them in. Gavin Newsom, women voted Gavin Newsom in. This is what happens. And, you know, we joke about it, how wonderful it would be to repeal the 19th Amendment and put women back to a position where they did not have a say in the elections. But then you start thinking, what would the political climate look like if women weren't voting in it?
Let's take the guns for a spin.
Paradise. So here's this guy. I don't know anything about this guy, so I don't know where he falls politically or anything. But I just popped on a video of his, and he's talking about repealing the 19th Amendment, and he makes some valid points. So let's watch Dale Partridge on the 19th.
Is it good that women can vote in America? I don't think so, and here's why. Nearly every legalized moral atrocity of the last 100 years was made possible by the female vote. Abortion and homosexuality would likely still be illegal if not for the female vote. Mass immigration and the welfare state rode on the backs of the female vote. Nearly every modern Democrat, including Obama and Biden, were elected because of the female vote. Even last night, the new Muslim New York City mayor, Mamdani, won specifically because of the female vote. The 19th Amendment has been a moral and political tragedy for America, but why? Women were not made to lead, but to follow and to feel. This is God's design, and it's good within the family and the household. But emotions cannot be what is used to rule and govern a nation. Statistically and generally speaking, women vote for whatever feels most kind or peaceful or safe to their emotions. Women crave security and comfort, and whoever promises those things wins their loyalty. The problem is evil men know this, and they exploit it. For example, women are twice as likely to men to be seduced into an affair. They are 26% more likely to be financially scammed online. They are 3 times more likely to fall prey to psychics and tarot card readings and astrology and mediums. The same emotional vulnerability that shows up there also shows up in politics. Many call it suicidal empathy. So I believe that we should return to the household vote, where women share their thoughts with their fathers or their husbands, and the men in their life make the final decision. Men are not perfect, but they are far more fit to rule with logic, and they are less likely to be deceived in political matters. So I don't believe that we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I don't love women. I believe we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I love America, and I love American women enough to protect them and our nation from their political exploitation.
Oh, Jesus. That is really good. Dale Partridge nailing it right on the head there. Emotion. Yeah. They're way too emotional to make rational decisions about things like politics.
Need a repair?
And the nurturing aspect that women have, that's inherent to women for a reason. It all comes down to biology, anatomy. It's just the way men and women are. And there are so many people that want to say there's no distinction between the two, and we are interchangeable in every respect. A man wants to become a woman, he does it, and he is a woman in every way, shape, and form. Well, it's just not true. Psychologically, physically, obviously, it's so blatantly obvious that physically men and women are very different. Mentally, psychologically, we are unbelievably different. And that's the one that, because it can't be shown to you, you can't show a naked man and a naked woman and go, do you see a difference? Because, psychologically, it's much more difficult. Not that we can't see it and it isn't blatantly obvious, but it's much more difficult to present to an idiot and try to tell them that this is different. We're different types of human beings, men and women. And for every difference we have physically, we have at least as many, if not many more, psychologically, mentally. And that it makes it very hard for us to agree on how things are supposed to be run in this country, and who we vote for, and what we're promised, and how we vote because of these promises. Can we see it's a scam? Can we see that someone's being sincere? Can we play on the public's emotion to get their vote? Women are much more likely, as Dale said there, to fall for scams and to fall for, fortune tellers and call me now, all those old telephone numbers that people would call at night, the 900 numbers. That was the vast majority of those were women. Women would call those things. Who am I gonna marry? Oh, Jesus. And they vote. And they think their vote is just as well thought out and reasoned as a guy's vote. And it's not. It's emotion. Emotion has no fucking place in politics. And that's why Democrats get elected mostly by women, because they spout all that nonsense about hope and caring. And they're like, oh, Anthony, so hope and caring is nonsense? No. But the politicians aren't really giving hope and caring to people. That's ridiculous to believe that one. It's not like I'm saying hope and caring is lame. I think hope is a little lame. Do something. Don't just hope. You gotta fucking do something. But, you know, when I see Elizabeth Warren talking about how we care about the people of this country. Every day I think about those people. No, you don't. You're a lying sack of shit. You care about your job. You care about the power. You care about the money you can make with the job.
Unit reporting.
So anyone that believes it's caring, and then, you know, women, they listen to these politicians yammering about caring for the downtrodden and giving equal rights to minorities. We already have equal rights. Everyone in this country has the same fucking rights. But they don't believe it because the politicians told them. And they want everyone to have it. Because they care. Women, that's what women do. They care about, you know, their own. Liz Warren talking about caring about people like all over the country. You give a shit. Try to care about someone you don't know. Just try. It's really difficult to do. And the further away they are, and the more different from you they are, the less you'll care.
Securing position.
I've been seeing some videos from the Sudan over there in Africa, the dark continent. It is some of the worst atrocities I've ever seen committed on supposed people, running people over slowly with cars, machine gunning people. They're standing there and then they're chop meat on the ground. They're just putting magazine after magazine of AK-47 rounds into somebody. And they're laughing while they do it. It's so fucking evil.
Anthony Cumia on X joins us, former New Yorker, evacuated many years ago, on Mondami. That's why I wanted him on. And that's important, but he's a smart guy in business too. If the Supreme Court rules against Trump's tariffs, they have 5 previous rulings as constitutional. That destroys the recovery, which is what the shutdown's part of too. This is open terrorism. You know, all the blackmail on Roberts and the rest of us being brought in right now. Trump, I think, will do a constitutional crisis. In fact, I know Trump, he will. He's got other things he can do.
I have the information.
But there's that. Then there's the big fissure in the Republican Party with the Zionist lobby, the Ben Shapiro's trying to come in and bully everybody and bully Tucker Carlson and all the rest of it. And there's just so much to talk about. Pelosi, the greatest stock trader in history, now about to leave. I mean, there's a lot to cover with Anthony Cumia, so it's very exciting to have him on. Longtime radio personality, comedian, co-founder of the Opie and Anthony Show, which was #1 at one point, known for his unfiltered humor, sharp wit, and love of classic rock. Me too. An unapologetic voice for free speech and proud New Yorker. And he was warning of cancel culture before he even came. And then a target of it, and it stood up for me when nobody would. So I have a special place marked for Anthony Cumia, who's hard to get on. So it's great to have him on with us. And I think this is an updated bio, the Anthony Cumia Show, 77 WABC Radio. Also, so that's the top syndicator in the country. So congratulations. Of course, you do your own shows as well separately. So Anthony, wow, where do you want to start? To me, it's like we're at the Super Bowl, sudden death overtime. Tied. We got the field goal here. I mean, you can cut the suspense with a knife, and I see the average populist conservatives like, oh, we've won, ho, 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 the dumb liberals, oh, Mondami, boy, we'll show them. These white fellers that think they can sit back and eat popcorn, I want to hit them in the head with a hammer Then you got black pillars that just bitch about Trump all day. My great sage, my friend, what is really happening?
It's amazing, Alex. But first of all, how you doing, man? It's been a while. I always love coming on the show and talking with you. Anytime I was down there in Texas, whenever you'd be at one of our shows, it was always such a blast. So I hope you're doing well, man. All of the things that you've been talking about are all connected. It's a way for the people, and it's kind of simple. The people that want what's worse for this country, the worst possible thing, which is the deconstruction of America, American values, institutions, everything we as Americans hold dear and have held dear for quite some time.
And blowing up the best thing the world agreed that ever existed.
Absolutely. By far. There's not even a close second. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and also entertaining.
Pride of the working class.
And it's all connected. Everything, when we get these little victories, and even Trump being elected, that was a victory for America. And the way they try to chip away and chisel away at that victory by trapping all over him, trying to stop him from doing anything. You just said earlier, you're amazed he's been able to do what he's been able to do at this point. We saw it in the first term. Everything he tried to do that was good for this country, that Americans knew were good for this country, they tried to stop him at every point. The activist judges, the politicians in Washington, they lied, they tried to imprison him, they had him shot. This is what they tried to do because he was trying to do what was best for the country and the voters that voted him into office and everything. The economics that you were talking about, silver and gold,
Let's keep it
and
safe.
the tariffs, how they're trying to stop him from being able to put tariffs on other countries because they've just been screwing America economically forever.
Oh, you mean Canada has a 300% tariff, so we can't put a 50%?
No, we have to, for some reason, we have to be the best people in the world. And I don't mean by the way we always have been the biggest,
you mean not the toughest, but the biggest pussies.
Right. We have to give in. We have to hand out to everybody. You just look at, I don't remember any other president bringing up the cost of NATO to the other countries ever. For some reason, we were just obligated to foot a huge portion of the bill and protect all of these countries from the evil Soviet Empire. And no one said a word, and then when Trump said something, what do they say? Oh, he's going after our closest allies. He's screwing over NATO. No, he said, pay your share, or we're not going to protect you. This is one example of so many examples of how they screw over America, real Americans, and Donald Trump trying to just hold on. And I understand what you're saying about white-pilled people and black-pilled people. But doesn't it sometimes just feel like we're hanging on by a little thread, Alex? And at any moment that thread can break?
No, I agree. That's why I'm pissed at White Pill and say, trust the plan, Trump's invincible, it's 5,000 DHS. And then the Black Pills, we're all screwed, Trump's evil, it's all over. No, he's got the real establishment trying to destroy him. They're coming, they've released all the... I'm not trying to bring myself into this. In the last month, most hosts were talking about all day. I'm literally, other than Trump, the second most mentioned person in thousands of pages, the Senator Grassley released, and Jim Jordan, with Jack Smith saying, get Alex Jones and his crew, which we now know they ran all the suits. But literally, these are terrorists. I mean, these are... So I'm saying they're scared of the people. The fact that they targeted me, a popular talk show host, just shows how scared, which I love now. You've been huge forever, but now Rogan's super awake, Elon's super awake, all the top comics, you were like this 20 years ago, they're now awake. So what I love is they thought they could get me and somehow it would stop. They didn't understand, already a bunch of people were awake like me, and now it's everywhere. So yeah, they're going to lose long term. The question is, can they suck us into a black hole and have a giant goddamn depression?
Well, they have been trying to fracture that alliance that the right has with each other. Look, we don't all agree with the same stuff, but we've tried to hold ourselves together as a consolidated unit when it comes to the left trying to break us apart. And Gavin McInnes, I saw him on the show bringing up a great point about how they're using Zionism and anti-Zionism, Christianity, the right, the left, Gaza, Palestine, Israel, all to try to fracture the right by trying to get this divide and conquer between people like Tucker and Nick Fuentes and you and me and people like Gavin and so many other people on the right. Because you know what? The left is constantly fractured into these little groups, and it's very hard for them to get a foothold. Fortunately for them, they've had the propaganda machine of the media and Hollywood for many, many years. But one-on-one groups of these people, they rarely agree on anything. You see these protests, they'll have one thing. Let's say it's abortion. But then they'll have, you know, Palestine and transgender and this. They're so mental and fractured, and they want that for the right. They want to try to bust us up. And I've seen them making some headway doing this, Alex. It's not hard to do. And I hate to see some people falling for it. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. You've been a big critic of Israel before it was cool. And I don't think his overall means bad, but Marjorie Green, big friend, and she's pro-Trump. She criticizes things she wants to fix, what we're supposed to do. But the media brands it as she's broken with Trump. Now Bill Maher has her on. Now The View. They are misrepresenting. I mean, here is the LA Times today saying, is this the beginning of the end of the Trump era? And it's all about Green and Fuentes, and we finally got them. And so this is their only hope, is to fracture us over Israel. And I'm sorry, Israel is not the whole shooting match. We have China, we have the dollar, we have Russia, we have the border, we have the dollar, we have all these other big issues. I cover Israel, you know, as much as anybody. My point is, though, making our culture all about, are we with the left and the Islamicists, or are we with Israel? No, we're America first. And so, yeah, let's speak to that, because this is very dangerous. And this is their big play. Their only hope is to divide the populist conservative movement.
Yeah, and they're frightened because they see that we're pretty unified, and it's very hard to get a wedge in there. And the popularity of a lot of people, whether you agree with them or not, it's overwhelming. You're seeing a lot of people speaking their mind. I mean, I've seen posts on X. I've made posts.
Yeah, let's stop there. Let's go back to you and I 8-9 years ago being banned everywhere. And for free speech, we've made the biggest gains ever. To now, literally people that are being edgelording. You know, I know they're getting it. We did it intellectually. I'm just being honest. But it doesn't matter. I think it's healthy. People say whatever they want. My point is that showed how much the establishment has lost control. They're done. The question is now, what happens in the future?
Yeah, they have lost control. I mean, there are things I see posted and that I post myself that would never have been online for more than 5 minutes. My account's canceled. You're done. You're demonetized. You know, this isn't happening now, and I'm very curious as to what the power base was that actually somehow made that decision to allow certain people that they deemed racist, sexist, homophobic, all that nonsense, allowed them back. I think they realized that the tide was changing, especially right after Trump.
They did the censorship and it failed. So a lot of them are double dealers. They at least pragmatically, Musk, I'm not saying he's one of the better ones, but others, like suddenly, they're letting my stuff, not me personally. I'm all over YouTube. I'm dominating Instagram, dominating everything.
Right.
And it's because they realized the left was so dangerous going for broke to end even the institutions of stability that even the establishment, large portions, got scared. So there's a civil war in the establishment. Is what's happening.
Absolutely. And the thing with the left is they don't want us to be heard. They don't want the right to be heard. And they were in charge of a lot of the social media platforms, and as they still are the media. And it's so telling that they're petrified to have people with conservative ideology go to college campuses. There's always a problem. You know,
let's
I
speak to
good
that.
friends
Charlie
with
Kirk. Regardless of what really happened, I have questions.
Bingo.
The left called for his death. 6 trannies said he'll be dead tomorrow. They celebrated the day he died, and then they celebrated his death. So, and they're out there violent everywhere, shooting up ISIS facilities, killing people. So the point is that metaphysically they have owned it, and that shows how scared they are.
Petrified. You know, I'm good friends with Ann Coulter, and she wants to speak at some of these college campuses. She's not allowed to speak. The security for the college goes, well, you know, and she was invited by a certain group at the college to speak, and then security the day of, so they can't reschedule or do anything, says, well, it's too dangerous for you to speak because of security concerns. Well, have you ever seen a right-leaning, a conservative college cancel a left-wing speaker? We want to hear them speak because it's so insane most of the time.
Oh, I agree. Tucker went to number one.
Debate.
He went to number one on Fox because they would come on the show. I'm guessing, but I bet you've invited a lot of liberals on. They won't come on.
Yeah, they just won't come on. You see it at these protests out. They hold up their signs. Someone asks them, they grab a mic and a phone, and they go, so what are you here for? What are you protesting? They have no clue what they're doing there. They can't even, in the simplest of terms. And then one of the cronies comes over and goes, don't talk to them. Don't speak to them. If you are so passionate about a cause, to make a sign, go out, spend your Saturday afternoon protesting, wouldn't you make damn well that you know, if you're asked why you're there, what to say, what you're professed to be so passionate about?
Well, go to a Trump rally. People will talk your head off.
Oh, yes. Nicely, pleasantly, and politely.
So let me ask you a big picture then.
The water's warm.
Just gut level prediction.
Ship reporting.
Do we win? I mean, what's going to happen?
I think in the long run we do, but it isn't going to be easy. We have been fighting the establishment. A lot of people like to say they're fighting the establishment. Either side sees the other side as the establishment. Well, when your side owns the mainstream media and Hollywood and Madison Avenue and everything they're putting in front of...
BlackRock controls 87% of world assets. They're 100% behind the left. The left is the establishment. Let's get that 100% clear. We're the rebels.
Yes, and they don't seem to understand that that's who most people that want freedom, want real justice, that's the enemy. That's who you go after, the establishment. And when they've been proven year after year for being the oppressive ones, being the ones that want to silence free speech, it isn't that hard for people to catch on. But it is hard to steer them away from the mainstream media that brainwashes these people. And I do think it's brainwashing. I think it's MK Ultra. My new take on the old MK Ultra, get the soldier in the room, give him LSD, pound him with all kinds of weird sounds and ideas. This now, the real MK Ultra now, they have enough outlets to put everybody under what they would do to one soldier. Now, they don't have to hit everyone. Actually, the vast majority won't be affected by it at all. But one or two, and they're under these psychotropic pharmaceuticals to treat depression and anxiety. All of that. All of this is a part of how they can control people. So now, the whole country under the umbrella of MK Ultra, but there's only one or two that are perfect. Drugged, they've been influenced, the propaganda got to them, existential threat to democracy, this guy's Hitler, and before you know it, someone's going to take the pot shot at these people.
Well, you show your sophistication. I don't know if you read the documents of MK Ultra, Naomi, and the Frank Church Committee, but MK Ultra was beta. They wanted a way through mass media to do it. That was the plan. And so we know that's the plan. And so let's talk about shutdown then. Their open attempt. the vast majority of polls show people know it's the Democrats. Got to have 60 votes in the Senate. Trump wants to get rid of the filibuster. Thune isn't doing it because the Democrats might use it later. They've already said they're getting rid of it. They've already said they're going to pass the Supreme Court. We didn't start this. They did. We have the constitutional break the glass emergencies. This isn't tyranny. These are emergencies. I think Trump goes all out, ends the filibuster, packs the Supreme Court. They want a war. They got one. I say whole hog. What do you say?
Yes, Commander.
Wow, that's a tough one. I think it takes a lot to, if you want to load up the Supreme Court, get more justices in there. I can't really see that happening.
No,
At
I'm not
least
saying
now.
see it happen. I'm saying we're not in the regular system anymore. It's total war. So how far do we go?
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I think we go as far as we need to go. And I think Trump's done a great job of adhering to the rules and regulations.
No, he has. And they say everything he has is constitutional when it's been. I agree. But they're not operating by the rules. We are. So I'm not saying break the rules, but I hear what you said. He's pushing to get the job done if he can without taking the gloves off, but he's got other options.
You know, they've constantly said he's wiping his ass with the Constitution. And you don't think the left would prosecute Trump? They prosecuted him for things he didn't do. They tried to put the #1 political opponent for president in prison. They tried to kill him. You don't think if he was doing something unconstitutional, they'd have piled on?
Anthony, they had at least 7 grand juries trying to put me in prison the last 5 years. Believe me.
Yeah, we kind of know about persecution and prosecution. It is really amazing. I do want to talk about New York if you got a little time.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get into Mondani. Well, he took the mask off in that victory speech, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Boy, it didn't take minutes after him winning. And he was this nice guy. I mean, he's making TikTok videos that Gen Zers are loving and reposting. And everything was about togetherness. And then he gets up there after he wins. And boy, that was a different person, wasn't it? He's talking about every single race of person except white working class people in New York City. He's going to appoint every appointment he has, the police commissioner, FDNY, his city council appointments. These are going to be extremists, communist extremists. All of them will be from minority groups similar to his own. And the only white cloud over the whole thing, I can't even say sunshine, over the whole thing, is that he won't be able buses. He could sit down with them. He could negotiate taxes. Hochul and other state politicians have to talk about raising taxes. Hochul's already said she doesn't want to raise taxes. Raising taxes is the only way Mamdani could get any of them.
We know it's a classic communist thing. Get in, promise a bunch of free stuff, and then act like the evil people are blocking it, even though he knows it's impossible. It's all dangling something.
That is exactly what I think he's doing. He gets this, he's mayor. He goes in with all of this great free stuff, and then Albany doesn't give it to him. He goes, oh, these bastards up north won't give me stuff to give you. And then what does he do? He runs for governor. That will be Mamdani's next step. He can't run for president, at least not now. He's not an American, natural American citizen. But he will definitely run for governor under the umbrella of they screwed me, I tried to do for you. And it'll end up just like Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we'll have another Islamic enclave in the United States, like Dearborn and Minneapolis.
Boy, that is the truth. Let's come back and finish up with you in New York, or by your life. I know you moved out of there. How many years ago you escaped New York?
Oh, I left about 3 years ago down here in South Carolina. Alex, I could not be happier I left.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. The people, the politics,
let's talk
the
about
fact
that. Let's talk about when you come back. Because you meet Northerners and everyone in the South. They think we're mean. They come to the South. They go, God, you people are nice. Like, yeah, we like you too. We'll be right back. We're Americans. So that's Anthony Cumia, old friend of mine, great popular talk shows, podcast, you name it. Find him on X right there at Anthony Cumia, C-U-M-I-A.
All fired up.
Are we going to win? He said, yeah, but it's going to be a lot rougher than people think. And that's 100% true. The awakening's here. It's all over the world. It's amazing. But the left is counter-striking with everything they've got.
How about a swim?
With the shutdown, with Mondami, with the red-green communist Islamic alliance. And so it's ours to lose, but we've got to be very, very serious about this. So finishing up with Mondami and then to the shutdown and then to Trump and all the wars. And since you mentioned Fuentes, I want to play a clip of him and some of the things he's saying.
I'm your man.
And this Fisher that I think the neocon Zionists are pushing even harder than him. But just finishing up on Mondami, once you said it, I hadn't thought of that. It's totally clear. Of course, they always dangle free stuff. They don't give it to you. But yeah, then he says, oh, I've got to be the governor, and then I'll actually give it to you. That is like prophecy. I predict that's true.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these guys that we've seen come over, and especially the Islamists, it's just the foothold they want, that initial foothold, and then they just work their way up. They make an enclave, and they take advantage of it. The greatest part about this country is the separate states' rights. Because when I looked around, New York wasn't the New York I grew up in. And it became, especially after COVID, the New York I did not want to remain in. I didn't want to live there anymore. I think they prey on the fact that people don't like change. We don't want to move. We don't want to pick all our stuff up. Our friends and family are there. If you got kids, it's even harder. There's different schools. But that is the sacrifice you need to make to enjoy what this country has to offer. Go to a state that is more conducive to what you want your America to be. So I was very unhappy with my taxes, the fact that I couldn't protect myself with the best tools available to me, a firearm on me at all times in New York isn't allowed. And then to top it off, they have a law enforcement and a judicial system that caters to the criminals. So you look around and go, well, I don't have to stay here. I can leave. And thank God in 2022, whenever I left, the technology was available to do my show from down here. So I left. And like I said, I couldn't be happier. And I think a lot of people, especially in cities like New York, LA, Chicago, they are doing the same thing. I think they are sadly mistaken if they believe that these millionaires and billionaires are just going to sit and take it and pay all of these programs that not only do they not agree with, they think are absolutely insane.
Well, I've also seen a bunch of clips of people just interviewing the crazy Mondami supporters and staff members. They're like, we have hope. We don't know how it works. We're just going to do it. But others go, no, if the billionaires and millionaires leave, we'll just tax the middle class. Well, who do they think those people are? So it's total insanity. So here's the larger question.
Up and over.
If you pull back, how do we respond to Mondami? How do we respond to their lies? Because as populists or conservatives, we're awake, but their constituents are so dumb. Is there any hope you've been trying to talk to them?
That's a tough one because, like you said, they don't even know what they're voting for. You listen to those interviews, and literally, and I don't use the term literally, not like it. Literally, they say things like, well, he'll find the money. I heard that today. He'll find the money. He'll figure it out. You voted for this guy.
Well, they use the word hope. We don't know, but we hope he finds it. We hope.
We hope he finds it. Here's what we do with Mamdani. And it's kind of the same thing we did with David Dinkins when he was mayor. Not for the same reasons, but look, he was elected by the people. Let him do what he's going to do. And what happened after
I'll take the high road.
After New York, Giuliani came in to clean that mess up. And I think New York's too far gone now. And I don't even think Mamdani can screw up enough for liberal Democrat women to say, well, he's bad. He made a mistake. we should vote someone else in 4 years. So I don't know, but the best thing you could do with a liberal, and especially a liberal politician, is let them do what they're going to do and call them out at every turn. Call them out for the nonsense and lies.
No, I agree. So look into your crystal ball. Minneapolis, Portland, New York. Does it become a John Carpenter movie where it just becomes a walled-off city of hell? And then we have a national divorce? I mean, how do we do that? Trump's saying he's going to cut. New York is 3 times the funding. Federal funding as Florida. Trump can just cut that off and have this off in the past. What happens on the current course in New York?
Yeah, New York is absolutely different. It's so much different than Minneapolis and Portland and other things. And it's been this supposed melting pot for so long of diversity. So I think it's camouflaged more. I think you can camouflage some of the nonsense that the politicians have brought to New York City for quite some time. But eventually, especially with an Islamist in there, a communist, somebody who does not appreciate American values, as a matter of fact, he detests them. This is a whole new ball of wax here. So this might be that final nail in New York's coffin. I don't want to sound too pessimistic about it. We've had some really garbage mayors, and we've had some great ones, and New York has suffered or done well with either. So we'll see. That's a hard one to predict. You could look at Minneapolis and go, oh yeah, that's screwed. That is just screwed. There's no turning back. Dearborn, Michigan, a place in Detroit. I mean, that was a city of the American dream.
The classic American iconic center of business. They literally have seized our second capital. Well, here's Mondami surges ahead of Schumer, risks finding himself up behind. And I agree that this is the new party. And Mondami said it's a new political order. But what does that spell for the Democrats at large? They may be able to seize a few cities and hold it, but they're committing political suicide.
Yeah, I think after he's sworn in January, how he does in New York is going to be a huge reflection on the Democrats going into the midterms. I think a magnifying glass is going to be on New York City to see how this guy's doing, and will people want to gravitate toward these extreme Democrats or liberals or democratic socialists, or will it be something where we look and go, oh, I want to steer as far away from these people as possible. So I think it's going to be the latter of the two, but we'll see. We'll see how poorly he performs.
Well, there is a great awakening, a populist awakening. The fourth turnings here. There's some people that weren't awake before kind of, grope around the dark and go to different, not even extremes, but just people that promise things that are impossible. Now we know the left are disingenuous. Take Nick Fuentes. I've known him 9 years, and I don't think that he's a person that, is a bad actor, that he means bad. He's standing up for what he believes in, saying the same thing for 10 years. But he's come out, I'll play a clip of him, and declared victory and said, we're going to take over the Republican Party now. But still his main fight is with Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, who are pretending like they're just neocons, Dick Cheney satellites, that they are the party. So it's like, oh, well, you're the party, so I'll agree to have a fight with you. That's a lie within a lie. They're not. It's about issues. Secure the border, secure the dollar, stop the wars, get industry brought back in, all of that. So I see the left is only obsessed with Israel and Gaza. Sure, cover it some, but that's all they know. And it seems like so much of what you call the new right. And then I see the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Atlantic, all of them going, oh, great, Nick Fuentes is driving a wedge in. I think it's good to stop foreign entanglement. I think it's good to exercise foreign influences, whether it's Israel or anybody else. But at the same time, I'm more interested in the 35,000-foot view about what this leads to, where this goes, and why the left is salivating over this, and why they think it's such a key thing, and then what your advice, everybody, would be. Here's Nick Fuentes. We've got the actual quote here. We'll actually hear it from him. But he is saying, we've won, we've taken over, and to me, it's just very frustrating. I know there's 2 clips. I gave you a shorter one. I want clip 2 from yesterday. It's longer, okay? So I want to go to clip 2. Sorry, I got so much here. Now I want to go to God, I got too much stuff here today. Now, I'm going to go to clip 2 from yesterday. Nick Pointes rant, America first is inevitable. That's the clip I want to play. Here it is.
Greatness means that we will become the #1 superpower ever in history, and we will dominate the world. That's what it meant to be great as America. What is great?
This is what Nick is thinking is going on here. I think there's a lot more going on here. It is.
This is advanced. This is the next stage. Congratulations, guys. We have penetrated the outer wall. The outer wall has crumbled. As the Atlantic said, the firewall has crumbled. We have broken through the gates. Groiper legionaries have stormed the first wall. And now the pro-Israel side, the conservatives, have retreated behind the next layer, behind the second wall in their concentric circles, in their tiered city. We did it. We won the argument. We beat censorship. We beat cancel culture. Our ideas are mainstream. We won the debate. We won the hearts and minds of millions of young men, and they're everywhere. 30 to 40% of the White House are groipers. You lost. Will Chamberlain, Shapiro, Mark Levin, you lost. You lost the conversation. We won. And now we're taking it to the next level. We graduated. Congratulations, everybody. We won. And we have now graduated to phase 2. Phase 1, I had to be the human battering ram and blow the door open with the flashbangs and everything. I had to entry
on the move.
So that everybody else can come in. I had to break the taboo. I had to break the cancel culture, the censorship. I had to break the spell that you could still be popular being called an anti-Semite, a bigot, a Nazi. And I had to do what I had to do to achieve that. We had to make the arguments, persuade everybody. We did that. We accomplished that. Now what? I'll tell you now what. What happens next? Now that we're inside the building, now we gotta lock the shit down.
Commands me.
Okay, we're in. Groipers have broken through the front lines. We've exploited the gaps. We've infiltrated. We've penetrated. What do we do now? I'll tell you what we do. Get those positions. We are now jockeying for the most important positions everywhere, where it counts. That's the name of the game. People say, where? What?
I am loyal to you.
Everywhere where it counts.
How can I assist?
So, those positions at UCLA, those limited numbers of seats, their student body, that's where it counts. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, George Mason, George Washington, UVA, universities, Georgetown, that's where it counts. College Republicans, young Republicans, Turning Point USA, that's where it counts.
All right, Andy's going to leave in about 10 minutes, so when I post this on X and Rumble later, I'll put the full thing in. But he says, like the left did, we won't say who we are, we'll infiltrate everything. We'll do this. Now, obviously, Nick's had a big effect, and I'm not taking away from that or his views. But this is a larger global awakening. It's a fourth turning. You see the left and Islam waking up and taking over. This is a radicalization period, and I don't think the fight of the Republican Party should be about Zionists versus groipers. It doesn't mean that's not a fight, and we shouldn't, have foreign interest or whatever. But there's a lot of other things going on here, and I don't know about secretly infiltrating institutions like the left does. I think people are plenty freedom. We do it out in the open, and I'm not trying to attack anybody here. I'm trying to have a larger discussion about the censorship culture, the bad things Israel's done, and things people can criticize. That's all come as a crest, and I think from his analysis to say the groipers have done this, and now we're going to do this, I don't want to say it's illusions of grandeur. I'm not even putting it down, thinking big is good. I'm just saying there's a lot of other big forces here and I know Nick's smart, that he should think second, third, fourth order consequence from about how incendiary this culture is, because we don't want to get a French Revolution on our hands. Anthony, Jimmy, you just saw that clip. What do you make of that? Because all over the corporate media and in Israel, they're panicking like Nick Fuentes is, literally the reincarnation of Hitler. They're saying Tucker's Hitler, and he's not even politically close to Nick.
Everyone's Hitler.
Yeah, so what do you make of what you just saw?
Yeah, well, Nick's a very smart guy. He's charismatic. And he is a young guy. He appeals to young men. And I think his only, and it's not even a fault, but he's a funny guy. Nick is a very funny guy. He does a show, and he's very up to date on everything that's going on politically. But he's also a young, funny guy, and we all know what that's like. So they're using that against him. I think Nick makes so many great points when he speaks, but all they're going to show is when he's dropping N-bombs and talking about Jews in a way that isn't speaking about it in real-world terms. It's just kind of guys knocking stuff around, having some fun. But that's who they'll present Nick as. They do not want to present him as a very knowledgeable guy. And a lot of the stuff he does talk about, if you are an America First guy, you're going to agree with that. And I think the whole world, as you've said, and especially here in our country, things are changing. And it's coinciding with what Nick talks about. I don't think Nick is responsible for it, per se. Partially, I think he's been in the news a lot. I think he has taken a lot of the brunt of what goes on because of what he said. But I think the whole change is a combination of a lot of things. And people are just tired of having to walk on eggshells around a lot of different racial groups, religious groups.
Exactly. People are done with political correctness. I'm not taking credit away from Nick. He's done a lot and broke through.
He's amazing.
I'm just saying the left is trying to make him the reason it happened right now and act like he's good in ways. That creeps me out. What do you think the trap is there?
Well, we saw what happened with Charlie Kirk. I mean, they didn't like what he was saying, and they eliminated him. I mean, there was an assassination attempt on Nick about a year or so more ago.
Yeah, about 10 months or 11 months ago.
Yeah, and it's frightening that they'll put someone up there as that's the guy. This is the guy that's starting this.
I've been there. I was there when Trump got elected years ago. That's what I've told Nick Brown down there. I said, listen, be careful. And I know it's fun to be an edge lord and you're just doing comedy and satire. But I'm saying you're in a position of power now. They've set you up as the devil. So just remember, they want to kill you. In fact, I told him a month before Charlie got killed, I said, I think people like you and Charlie Kirk are the main targets.
Yeah, here's the guy trying to shoot him. He's got his gun. He's got a crossbow. Yeah, so the left or the powers that be, whoever you want to, whatever you want to call them, they see him as the figurehead they could put up there and say he's the bad guy, he's the reason, and then the mental patients will act accordingly, and it's a dangerous thing. But I think Nick is a part of what is going on. We're tired of being chastised and told we can't be pro-America, pro-Christian, and a lot of Americans are tired of having to tiptoe. We've tiptoed too long. We've been canceled.
So what does the left do now that the spell is broken?
I think they're still working on a plan, but like I said, holding certain people up as the bad guy seems to be what they're doing. Tucker interviewing Nick was a huge thing, because Tucker is looked at as a big name, and he gets a lot of viewers. And these aren't people hate watching him. They're not people like you watch MSNBC or CNN and you go, shut up, I hate you. People are watching this, they agree, and they're pissed, and they want their voices heard through people like Nick.
Well, exactly. I engineered the interview. I'm only saying this is true. trying to not have a right-wing fissure, and then the Zionists came in and created a bigger one with the interview, so it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Anything that happens, anything that's done, whether it's an interview, legislation, a vibe, it has to be knocked down by the left. That's their mission. So we could look at what we're doing and see it as advancing and doing very well. And they will just try to knock it down. And again, since they have the power of the media and whatnot, it's very hard to not believe that they're succeeding. But when you take a look at the bigger picture, you do realize that, look, real Americans, true Americans that believe in this country for what it was built for, and we are tired of it. And we want not to go back in time. We just want the basic ideals and institutions that we hold dear to be there for
and that's
the American
the key,
people,
Anthony
for
Cumia.
future generations.
We're the flower of the Renaissance. America's the latest, best idea that worked. We're back to the future. We're not going back to feudalism or any of this. America is the cutting edge. We want to go back to the badass thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look back and obviously, look, technology has made this country very different from what it was. There's no turning the clock back. When we say make America great again, it doesn't mean going back to a different time. It's make it that great place. The great
Like you're 70 years old and can't get a hard on, and you get Viagra, you get a hard on again. It doesn't mean you're going back to 20, you just get a hard on again.
Right, exactly. Alex, you know, when I'm at a loss for words, I can always depend on Alex Jones to help me out.
Hey, you got to come back more often. I want to come on your show. I know in the old days I was too drunk to come on. I never hardly drink more, but hey, you're looking great. We really appreciate your kicking ass. How do people find your different shows? I know you got to do a bunch of them.
I got to tell you, and this is proof positive that things are changing. I was hired. I wasn't even looking for a gig, Alex, and I was hired by the #1 talk radio station in the country, WABC, 77 WABC, New York. So things got to be changing, or they're crazy over there.
They're just back
at
ABC. This guy's had a #1 show before. How do we actually put #1 shows on?
Hey, what a unique idea. Yeah, so Sunday night, 8 to 11 for the time being.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, 77 WABC, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. And then I have my show on Censor.tv, 4:30 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday. My X account, Anthony Cumia, very easy, it's my name. And Compound Media on YouTube. A lot of videos, new ones go up every day. And I got to tell you, Alex, I appreciate the hell out of you, what you've done, the sacrifices you've made for what we're seeing now, Frank.
Well, I appreciate you. Well, they're getting ready to shut us down the next month. They tried hard, but it's finally here. So we launched a new thing, get me on to help boost me, because they're trying to take me down. Anthony Cumia, great job. Talk to you soon. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is an amazing last hour. Very informative. All right, we're going to look at Mondami and the terror connections and more with the former Navy SEAL straight ahead.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.
Spinning away. Air pressure stabilized. Disk in flight. Missiles ready for launch.
The older you get, the quicker time goes by. I think it's because you don't, you're not looking forward to as much. I think you're trying to put a lot of stuff off. And everyone knows, you know, ever since you were a kid, when you look forward to things, oh my God, it takes forever. Your birthday, Christmas, summer vacation, and you just want to, you know, you want it to get there as quickly as possible, and then it seems like it takes forever. Then you get older, and you're just putting things off. You want bills and all the nastiness that comes with some aspects of adulthood. You want to kind of put those off. You don't want them coming around very quickly, and when you do that, you know, time just seems to blow right past you. So that's my theory. That's my theory. Boy, today, what a show. Tonight, actually. I just looked outside. It's still light out, so to me it's today. I enjoy this time of year so much. But tonight, Dre DiMatteo is on the show. Adriana from The Sopranos, of course. Any cast member of The Sopranos is welcome on my show. That is for sure. A lot of stuff going on in her life, and obviously, talk Sopranos. People from The Sopranos have to be sick of it. I think about it, and I think about when The Sopranos came out. I mean, the pilot episode was filmed in, 98? 97, 98? The show comes out in 99. And think back to what you were doing around that time. I guess I was at WNEW in New York City, the Opie and Anthony show there. And, I think if all anyone talked to me about was the O&A show from, NEW, not even the satellite radio years or anything else like that, I might get a little tired of it. Gotta be honest. You're all nice and cordial to people. I saw a lot of people down in Boca. I was down in Boca Raton, Florida, over the past week. Did a comedy show there. Josh Denny, Gavin McInnes. And it was a great time. Met a lot of, great fans. They appreciate you and what you do. And some people, they bring up stuff from literally 30, 35 years ago. And I guess, most people smile and say thank you. And you should. You should be appreciative of people recognizing what you do and what you've done. But, that's me on the O&A show. That's nowhere near Sopranos level celebrity. So it's just got to be constant. I saw Steve Sciarippa on a show recently, and the hosts of the podcast were asking me, yeah, I know you're sick of it, but I just got to ask you a Sopranos thing. And he didn't even say, no, that's okay. I would do that. I know you're probably sick of it, but I'd be like, no, it's cool, man, it's cool. I think Sciarippa's past the point where he even says it's cool. I think it's just I've been doing so many other things. Why? Why do they always ask me about The Sopranos? But, it's one of those crosses to bear that people don't, I think can't really relate to. They go, oh, I look at that problem. Yeah, until that's your problem, then it's probably kind of a pain in the ass. But, Dre DiMatteo, Adriana, one of the, I guess, most, sympathetic. You're not innocent on the show. That's for sure. No one is innocent on The Sopranos. I don't think there's one person you could truly say, boy, that poor bastard was involved with those people, and it was terrible for them. So I don't think anyone was innocent, but she definitely, Adriana, the character, definitely had the sympathy of a lot of the viewers, and obviously one of the most brutal death sequences, even though you don't see it. It was pretty brutal. I think we all know that. But we'll talk to her about that.
Enlighten me.
Other things, she was in, of course, Sons of Anarchy. Another just crazy, very graphically violent program. But, we'll talk to her in a bit. I said I went down to Florida, and I hate doing, talking about the plane because it's so, how about those airline peanuts? What is up with the flight attendants? Everything's been done, but when it comes to air travel, but I got to tell you, it's just getting worse. It's getting worse and worse, having to go through the whole rigmarole, the airport, and you do everything you can to speed it up.